boy, Henny the Moore, reporting live from the liquor store, man. How's everybody doing tonight? And hey, I know we were live earlier, but we back in the building. We temporarily had to close our doors to the liquor store so I could attend my grandson's first birthday party, just the little one. So hey, everything went on without a hitch. Had a great time seeing everybody. But now we back in the liquor store, putting in work on this content, man. But hey, before I even talk about what I will talk about, let me show y'all some love. There's already people in the chat box, at the doors of the liquor store, man, ready to consume some content. So shout out to the Neil Berry Sports Highlights in the building. He said, yo, everyone, what's up with you? My boy D.A. Lee said we in the building. What's up with you, man? Salute to you. My brother Justin Kitchen coming through, dropping the 6 championship emojis, man, helping the practice manifestation all 2024. For sure, man. Thank you for the love and support. My boy Joe in the building. Said, what's up, Henny? Sorry, won't be able to watch because it starts too late. So I will share it and push the like button before I go to sleep. That's love right there, man. I appreciate you for rocking with us, my boy. Let's see who else in the chat box with us, man. Michael Lockhart in the building. He said, what up, Henny? What's up with you, man? Thank you for tapping in and showing love. Part of the Lockhart gang, man. Cartavius, what's up, man? He said, back like we never left. What's up with you, my boy? Let's see. My boy Keystone in the building. What's up with you, man? Thank you for coming in and showing love to the liquor store. Eastside Herald, the #1 Dallas Cowboys fan I know. My boy, what's up with you, man? Long time no see. But hey, man, we got a bunch to talk about. We're going to talk about Micah Parsons' market value because it's getting a little clear. We know what it is this year, right? Because he's under contract. But when you get to talk about that 5th-year option and things like that, that gets a little, that gets a little more, it's a little bit more in depth right there. It's gonna be. I'm gonna show you what the hell I'm talking about. But we got some news on Micah Parsons' upcoming market value, what it's shaping up to be. We're going to talk about the best option for pick number 24 in this year's draft. We're going to talk about some off-season news and different things like that. But before we jump head first to the content, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. The more likes that we get on these videos, the more that these platforms will push the content. That's the way the algorithm works. So if you want to support your independent content creators, you want the liquor store to grow, you want to strive and flourish and all those other big words that mean to do well, then hit that like button for your boy. It goes a very long way and it ain't going to cost you a dime. After you hit that like button, I need y'all to do like my boy Justin Kitchen and help us practice manifestation in the liquor store. I need y'all to share the content 6 times, and I need y'all to drop 6 emojis, man. And hey, if you do that, we're trying to put all the positive energy in the world for the Dallas Cowboys to win number 6 in 2024. Now, we didn't do enough in 2023. We saw how everything ended. We seen how that went. But we're going to get a head start on 2024 to try and get that 6th championship. So, hey, go ahead and drop those emojis. Drop 6 of them. Share the content 6 times. And when you share it, it don't matter who you share it with. It could be with a friend, a foe, a pimp, a hoe, a co-worker. They could be unemployed. It could be a family member, a stranger. It don't matter. Share the content 6 times to help the Dallas Cowboys win their 6th championship in 2024. And then after you do that, the very next thing I need y'all to do, and I know I'm giving y'all a whole bunch of orders, man. I done asked y'all to hit the like and share. I know it's a bunch of things, but after you get through with this, I promise I'll flood the streets with some good content, man. So the very next thing I need you to do after you hit that like button and hit that share button, hey, Damian Crow, I see you helping us practice manifestation. So after y'all hit that like button, after y'all drop those emojis, like my boy Damian Crow, I'm gonna need y'all to go ahead and slap the shit out of an Eagles fan, man. And if you're able to find one, because they're in hiding right now, I haven't really seen them since they got embarrassed in front of the entire world, getting blowed out by Baker Mayfield. I have not seen too many of them. But if you're able to find one and drag them out of the hiding spot and slap the shit out of them, I will be able to give you half off on all the merchandise inside the liquor store. And we got exactly what you need to succeed over here, man. We got cow burritos, we got gin, we got hen, and everything else other than the sun that can make you sin. So tap in with your boy, Henny the Moore, and come get drunk in the liquor store. Kelvin Hicks, what's up with you, man? Said, what's up, Henny? You gotta said sharing with 6 pimps and 7 hoes. Hey, that's manifestation right there. Salute to you goddess. The lunatic in the building with the $2 super chat. Salute to my brother. He said, go all in and get number 6. F you, Steven. DC4L. Hey, let's get it, man. The Dallas Cowboys do need to go all in, man, because we're entirely too close to be out here half-stepping. The Dallas Cowboys got too many all-pro players under contract. We got too many young up-and-coming players on this roster to be wasting their prime years, not going all in and putting a better infrastructure around them. Prince Charming in the building. What's up with you, man? The lunatic, what's up with you? All right. So, hey, y'all done hit that like, y'all done hit that share, and y'all can be just like the lunatic. If you want to help keep the lights on in the liquor store, y'all can hit the super chats, or y'all can hit the Cash App. It's $Henny the More down at the left-hand screen. And yeah, I appreciate y'all in advance, but let's go ahead and jump into the content, man. But yeah, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. So let's start with the Micah Parsons stuff I was talking about. You're like, what you mean? What's Micah Parsons' market value? Like, he's on his rookie contract. I know. Micah Parsons is on his rookie deal. He played in 2021. He played in 2022. He already played the 2023 season, meaning this is his final year under contract, meaning the Dallas Cowboys can either A, pick up his 5th-year option, or B, just flat out get him an extension next year, right? So that's what I'm talking about. Like, what will Micah Parsons be making moving forward? Where there are some numbers out that will actually tell you what his 5th-year option is right now. So I ran across this article from Blogging the Boys. Shout out to them. So his numbers are going to be set for his 5th-year option. So shout out to Blogging the Boys. I always try and plug in where I be finding this information at. I found it on there. I found it from them. RJ Ochoa. Make sure y'all give him a follow on Twitter. Subscribe. So he said, it is shaping up to be a rather expensive offseason for the Dallas Cowboys. At the core are 3 pressing matters. First and foremost, there is likely inevitable contract extension for quarterback Dak Prescott, a deal that could see him land somewhere around $60 million on a per-year basis, which is difficult in and of itself. It stands to reason that we will have an answer on this front from the Cowboys prior to the start of free agency, as an extension allows them to create salary cap space, which can help serve them in an effort to sign other players, right? He said 5th-year option is a no-brainer for Micah. Extend Dak and 88. Agreed. But we're gonna go ahead and hear them out. We're gonna go ahead and hear them out what they trying to talk about, what they trying to sell, what they trying to tell. All right. Said with the second pressing matter, Dallas can create salary cap relief by extending wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. He is currently set to enter the final year of his rookie contract and just so happens to be coming off of the greatest statistical season that any wide receiver has ever had in franchise history. He will likely land somewhere around $30 million per year. Finally, in terms of top-tier priorities, the Dallas Cowboys are finally at a point in time where Micah Parsons can get an extension. Because remember, a player does not become eligible for an extension until after their 3rd year played. So Micah was drafted in 2021. He played in the 2021 season. He played in the 2022 season. He played in the 2023 season. So now, heading into this offseason, Micah Parsons is entering the first time where you can enter contract negotiations with him. This is the first time that Micah Parsons is actually eligible for an extension, right? Just to give y'all some context right there. Parsons has done nothing but produce at an exceptionally high level since the team drafted him in the first round of the 2021 NFL draft. So it seems rather likely that he would want to up his salary as soon as possible. The 5th-year option number for Micah Parsons is now officially known. Because remember, we had a rough estimate of what it would be, but There are variables that change what your 5th year option will be, and they're actually performance based. But we'll get to that. It said both Prescott and Lamb are set to enter the final years of their current contract, which means there are fewer grains of sand left in their respective hourglasses. Dallas could play the franchise tag game with CeeDee Lamb in the future if they really want it, but they have no options of team control left with their quarterback. At the moment, Parsons is technically slated to also enter the final year of his contract, the rookie one he received upon entering the NFL. However, as a first-round pick, the Cowboys have the ability to pick up the 5th year option on Parsons, and with the 2024 salary cap officially being set on Friday, so were the option values for the 2021 draft class. So Micah Parsons made multiple Pro Bowls. So therefore, his 5th year option, if you pick up the contract on his 5th year option, it would be $24 million for that season. So $24 million for Micah Parsons in 2025 if the Dallas Cowboys decide to pick up his 5th year option. To be clear, this would be Parsons' payment value for the 2025 season, as I just stated. But it helps to partially set the tone for what he and his representation will ask for on a per-year basis. Parsons is likely going to net somewhere well north of $24 million per year when it all said and done. He will likely soar past $30 million a year along with Lamb. But if the Cowboys were, for some reason, considering not doing an extension, now due to having some more time to work with Parsons than the others, they at least know this. Assuming they do not get an extension done anytime soon, the Cowboys will in all likelihood pick up Parsons' 5th year option just to buy them time in a worst case scenario. Things are going to suddenly get very expensive for the Dallas Cowboys. So, hey, what up? Numbhead Neil in the building, man. What's up with you? He said, what up, Henny? Got the lift in today so I could keep the Eagles fans slap hands strong, slap 93 of them bitches before checking in. You're doing you're doing a good job right there, man. You're doing a good job. You're doing a public service, man. So salute to you. So what does all this mean, Henny? Why are you telling us this, man? Well, I bring this up because it's a very good article, by the way. But I bring this up to remind y'all, the Dallas Cowboys don't actually have to use the 5th year option on Micah Parsons if they actually get him an extension done. They don't actually have to use that 5th year option. They can just give him an extension, flat out. Give him an extension and call it a day. Now, they might pick up the 5th year option for structural standpoint, right? They might pick up the 5th year option and then give him an extension so you have more years to move it around. But you don't actually have to give Micah Parsons this 5th year option if you don't want to. You could do the smart thing and just extend the man and not have to worry about it. Because an extension is you spreading the payments over a prolonged period of time. It could be a 4-year extension. It could be a 5-year extension. It could be a 6-year extension if Micah Parsons, wanted to do such a thing, right? You can spread the money around way better giving Micah Parsons an extension than you can just picking up the 5th year option. If you utilize Micah Parsons' 5th year option, you will pay him a guaranteed $24 million plus dollars for that singular season. And he will still be a free agent the following year if you were not to get an extension done. Now, you could play games with Micah Parsons and tag him multiple times, but we all know that the tag is also expensive. So what I'm trying to tell y'all is if the Dallas Cowboys want to get ahead of this, if they want to be better prepared in a better position, right? If they want to be in a better position to save money, regulate cap hits, and to keep Micah Parsons happy, keep Stephen Jones happy, because I know he cares so much about the damn cap, just give him an extension. Stop making it harder than it actually has to be. Because I tell you what's more expensive than an extension, a 5th year option and franchise tags. That's what's more expensive. Right? Let me see if I can find a 2025 franchise tag. All right, so they don't have the figures for the 2025 franchise tag, but it'll be close to what 2024. Oh, never mind. I do see it because I got the projected one. All right, so let me pull this up for y'all. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. Right? So let's say the Dallas Cowboys want to play hardball. Let's say they don't want to give Micah Parsons, an extension, and they're going to make him play on the 5th-year option, and then they're going to franchise tag him. Right? Let's say that they treat him like they treated DeMarcus Lawrence or how they treated Dak Prescott. Once that final year of the contract was done, they tagged him. Right? So let's say they try that. They just told you in that article that that if you pick up his 5th-year option in 2025, you will owe him $24 million. Right? So the projected franchise tag, let's say 2026 comes and you still don't get nothing done. You're going to pay him $24 million for a singular year of service in 2025. They don't have the projected tags for 2026 just yet, so let's use the projected tags for 2025. Let's say in 2026 the tag numbers are around the same. If you were to franchise tag Micah Parsons, right? If you were to franchise tag Micah Parsons, you would either end up owing him $24.6 million for 1 year of service, or if he has a designation of being a flat-out edge, given his snap count, you will owe him for $27.4 million for a single year of service. So over the course of 2 years, if you let Micah Parsons play on his 5th-year option in 2025, you owe him $24 million then. If you let him play on a franchise tag in 2026, you'll owe him around anywhere between $24.6 and $27.4 million under the current franchise tag. And remember, the franchise tag usually increases. So you'll be paying Micah Parsons almost $50 million in guaranteed money over the course of 2 years if you pick up his 5th-year option and then franchise tag him the following season. When you could always just go out there and, I don't know, give him a contract extension. Yeah, Chris, I'm not saying that Micah's going anywhere. That's not the conversation that we're having. We're just talking about why it's a smart thing to go ahead and give Micah Parsons an extension instead of playing the waiting game. Because if you pick up that 5th-year option and you let him play that out, and then you franchise tag him right after that, that's a whole lot of guaranteed money, a whole lot of guaranteed cap hits when you could just give him an extension. There's not really much you can do with a franchise tag. There's really not much you can do with a 5th-year option. You can't really restructure that or prorate that. You pick up that 5th-year option, he's going to make that $24 million. It's going to go against your cap. If you franchise tag him, he's either going to cost you that $25 million or that $27 million. And that's what the cap is going to be. So you'll have about $50 million in cap hits for Micah Parsons over the next 2 years if you do it the dumb way. When the smart thing to do, like all the other good teams, is to just go ahead and extend Micah Parsons. So, I just wanted to throw that out there. I saw the article. I thought it would be a very good talking point. This is another example on why playing with these contracts gets more expensive on the front office. Playing with these contracts, the front office ends up bidding against themselves, and they always end up losing. Because guess what? If you were to pick up the 5th-year option, if you were to franchise tag him the next year, you still want Micah Parsons, so you'll still end up giving him an extension anyway. You'll still give him an extension, and it'll probably be a more expensive extension. Because guess what? The market would have been reset multiple times in between that 5th-year option and that franchise tag. So right now, an extension for Micah Parsons is the lowest that you'll ever get him. And that changes the more that you wait. The other pass rushers that come up and reset the market, the more Micah Parsons extension is going to cost. So why play these games? Why franchise tag him and be forced to guarantee $24 million for a year of service? Why Why pick up a 5th-year option and guarantee him another $24 million? But you can just make him and yourselves happy with an extension out the gate. So I just want to get ahead of the curve. I know right now they're slandering Dak Prescott in the media. I know right now they're playing it close to the vest with CeeDee Lamb and his contract talks. But don't let them drag this out with Micah Parsons. I need everybody to form in unison and do not let the front office play these kind of games, because these are costly mistakes that they make year in and year out when it comes to the contract negotiations. Man, hey, the lunatic, I completely agree. But the only pushback I will have about the Trayvon Diggs scenario is Trayvon Diggs did not reset the market. Right, Trayvon Diggs did not reset the market, and that is the reason why I think that deal got done so fast. If Trayvon Diggs wanted to be the highest paid corner, I'm sure they would have dragged this out. But thank God, knowing what we know now, that they went ahead and got it done. Mark, what's up with you, man? Thank you for tapping in, and I appreciate you for the $2 super. He said, aloha. Why? Because JJ is a moron, the clown show. Listen, they make some horrible mistakes when it comes to contract negotiations. They make horrific mistakes when it comes to contract negotiations. Because guess what? We're talking about Dak Prescott's contract. You could have got Dak Prescott. You could have gave Dak Prescott a contract extension before the market reset all those times. You could have got Dak Prescott for about $48 million on an extension, right? Because Dak Prescott, he became eligible. He played 2021. He played 2022. He played 2023. So yeah, there were plenty of times when you could have worked something out with Dak Prescott before this. Because remember, you franchise tagged Dak Prescott twice, so Dak Prescott would have already been back in the market. So if you had actually went ahead and gave Dak Prescott his extension the first time, he would have only made about $30 million per year, right? Because you played hardball, you franchise tagged the man twice, signed him for about $10 million per year more, and now he's going back into the market again when the market is about $50 million. The timeline would have been different. Dak Prescott would have just recently got his second extension, and he would have only been about a $46 million per year quarterback. So yeah, because remember, once you mess up once, it's a chain event. Because you waited so long, you'll never get that time back. So every time that the player that you waited to sign goes back into the market is still gonna be higher than when you initially could have got him at. Right? You never recoup that money. You never recoup that money. Said couldn't got Dak done before franchise tag. Exactly. There was no reason to franchise tag Dak Prescott twice. If you would have just gave Dak Prescott a contract extension before the 2020 season, right after the 2019 season, going into the 2022 to 2020 off season, you could have got Dak Prescott for around that $30 million mark, and he would have played through that contract. And he probably would have got extended by now, and he would have been extended and made about $46 million per year or $45 million per year. And we still would be, secure with Dak Prescott at the quarterback position. Now we're trying to figure out what to do. We said we wasted $60 million. Yeah, exactly. There was no reason to do that stupid stuff. Said front office made terrible mistakes, but they still right the ship and give us multiple shots at number 6 in the next few years. That's the only thing I asked, man. What's up with you, Choctaw? Thank you for tapping in and showing love, man. And hey, if y'all like beats, man, make sure y'all go spin the block and go check out my boy Page, man. Make sure y'all go check out my boy Choctaw Montana Page on YouTube, man. He be dropping some fire-ass beats. Said, but that ain't Jerry. He wants to air it out like Mari Povich show. Hey, I believe a lot of it is Steven. From what we've been hearing, a lot of the stuff that goes on now is Stephen Jones. He has much more of a controlling voice in the franchise now than Jerry Jones. Of course, the man's damn near 90 years old, so I get it. But yeah, man, the Dallas Cowboys make some horrible mistakes, man. Hey, anytime, Choctaw, you always come over here showing love. I can return the favor, bro. So let's see. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say, man. Don't let them make the same mistakes again. Because remember, just because waiting changes the timeline of the contracts. Because Dak Prescott would have went back into the market around when they were making 45, 46 million. Now this quarterback's making over 50. And Dak Prescott is set to make about 57 to 60, depending on what his agent can work out. So they always screw themselves. You always end up bidding against yourself at the end of the day, because you never get that timeline back. You never reset the timeline, even if you get it, even if you get the contract done. You wasted 2 years. Doing nothing. So don't do it again. It's too expensive to play these games with Micah Parsons, man. But let's move on to the next talking point, man. Let me see if I can find it in here. Yeah, it need to be some urgency, man. I know Jerry want to see another one before we go, man. Real talk. All right, so let me see. Where is it? Let me see what this one is. All right, man. And this is another reason why it makes no sense to go out there and play games on these contracts, man. So this is 2015 to 2024. This is the salary cap every single year for the last 10 seasons. So this is a decade worth of salary cap numbers in the NFL. So in 2015, the salary cap was $143.3 million. In 2016, it bubbled. It got higher. It went to $155.3 million per year. In 2017, it jumped again. It went to $167 million for every team. 2018 jumped again, $177.2 million per year. Per team. 2019 jumped again by $11 million. $188.2 million per year. 2020 jumped again, went up to $198.2 million. My question, do y'all realize why it dropped in 2021? It was because of that C word. It was that, it was that sickness that starts with a C. So that's the only year that the salary cap actually took a hit, was in 2021. Coming off of that C word year, it fell to 182. But the very next year, in 2022, it still surpassed the 2020 mark of and it got up to $208.2 million. Facts, Michael Lockhart, that word. They be trying to flag people for shit, so I be trying to not get canceled over some mundane stuff. I ain't trying to get canceled. They weird out here. Then last year, it jumped up, about a little bit over $16 million. It jumped up to $224.8 million. And then we all know that it jumped up over $30 million this year. 2024, $255.4 million worth of salary cap. And so listen, the NFL prints money at this point. I don't need y'all to think the salary cap is ever going to take a hit outside of, a pandemic. Outside of a pandemic, a market crash, whatever. The Dallas Cowboys and the rest of the NFL teams are printing money. They getting that bag. The salary cap in the next couple of years will be over $300 million. So what I'm trying to tell you is, not only is there pie, there will be more pie. And after that pie is gone, they're going to go back to the bakery and bring you back a couple more pies to cut up and divvy out. The pie is not really a lie. Like, there is pie, but what they be leaving out is that they own the damn bakery. They own the bakery and they talking about pie. You can make another pie. You out here got an assembly line worth of pies. There's pies coming out the furnace every other minute. So I'm sorry when they talk about these contracts, like dog, just do what every other team does, bro. Put the big cap hits at the back end, so the salary cap will be higher when you have to pay it. And if the player is good enough, you're going to keep extending them any damn way. If the player is good enough, you're going to keep extending them any damn way. Like real talk. You what you want to do with your quarterback is you want to extend them so often, you're not going to end up paying all the contract. You want them to retire before you have to pay them out the entire contract. Because then it's prorated and some other stuff, so you still don't end up paying the full amount. But my point being, the salary cap is going to keep going up every year. Every single year, the salary cap is going to rise. So I don't understand why they're so concerned about the pie. Every other team figures it out. The Saints are in cap hell every offseason, and then they find a way to sign everybody and their mama. The 49ers have a team loaded with talent, and they find a way to pay everybody. All these teams load the clip. Matter of fact, look at the Rams. People told us the Rams were going to be in cap hell for years after they put that team together that won that Super Bowl. And that's not what happened. They had one injury-riddled year, and they made the playoffs again this year. And now they're out of cap hell, and they can go out there and sign free agents again. You see what I'm saying? Like, even the teams they tried to say were going to put themselves in a bad predicament for a championship, they didn't end up in a bad predicament. Like, they got their championship, they paid everybody they had to pay, they had one down year, and then now they're back in the playoffs, and now they're back able to shop and make their team a super team again if they want to. You know what I mean? So yeah, like, I need them to stop. There's 10 years worth of proof that the salary cap is going to keep going. Matter of fact, if we went further back, you would see this stuff. You know, if we went further back, you would see this trend over even more years. So the NFL is never not going to make money. The NFL is going to be, thank you. The Rams got $43 million in cap space. After going all in, trading for a quarterback, picking up Odell Beckham, you know, they end up extending Cooper Kupp. What else they do? They gave Aaron Donald another contract. You know, they had picked up Leonard Floyd. They had picked up what's the left tackle's name? Point being, like, they signed everybody and their mama to get that Super Bowl, and they're fine. A couple years later, they're fine. So yeah, it is worse to lose good players than it is to get in cap trouble. You can manipulate the cap however you want. You can manipulate the cap however you want, dog. Said they got saved by some star rookies this past year. They did. You know, they drafted well. No, hey, Pookie Nakua. I call him Pookie. He be out there killing them niggas. But yeah, Pookie Nakua did very well for them. Kyron Williams, when he did play, did very well for them. They still had Cooper Kupp. Matthew Stafford had a very good season himself. Yeah. So they got out of it. They got out of those issues. Point being, it only took them 2 years to get the cap right again. It only took them 2 years to get the cap right. It said Rams don't have a first round pick until 2025. But if you go and ask the 5 Ram fans that actually exist, because there's not many of them, that's why we always pack out their stadium when we go. But if you ask the 5 Rams fans, they don't care about that about not having no first round pick. Their team just won a Super Bowl. They still high off that. Like they living the dream. They don't care no more. They got their Super Bowl. They happy. And when they do use that first round pick, they're proud to use it on a quarterback because Matthew Stafford's getting a little long in the tooth. So they might go ahead and draft Matthew Stafford's replacement, and they're going to be happy for the next 5, 6, 7 years. So yeah, man, like I would rather be in cap hell than not have a team full of good talent. I would rather have cap problems than have a team that's not properly constructed to compete. It's just like having a Corvette or something. Like, yeah, you in debt. You signed a contract. It's an $80,000 car, but when you walk outside and you see that mid-engine V8, you got the sports car though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you in debt, but you got the vehicle. You got the vehicle in your yard. So it's the same thing. If you want nice things, you got to spend money on it. That's all I'm trying to say. If you want nice things, you got to spend money on it. You see it, want it, buy it, own it. But yeah, man, that's all I'm saying. If you want nice things in life, you got to spend money. Facts, the lunatic. Like, hey, you be in debt up to your eyeballs, but you ain't gonna think about it when you're on the highway in that vet, man. When you're on the highway in that vet, you ain't gonna think about it. Henny, have you touched on how much cap space we have now? No, the Dallas Cowboys currently have negative $8 million in cap space. Matter of fact, I can pull it up. I got you, my boy. All right, so let me share this. All right. So you see this figure right here, team cap space, about $9.8 million in the red. Now, that is a big move from being almost $20 million in the red, right? Because you remember, we were almost $20 million in the hole. Yeah, we were almost 20 M's in the hole. So that's a big difference. So now remember, right? I'm going to pull this graphic back up real quick. Because you're only $8 million in the hole, right? Thank God. So let me see if I still got this graphic saved or did I do away with it. Okay, so remember, extending Dak Prescott, you save about $26 million. Extending CeeDee Lamb, you save about $13 million. Extending Micah Parsons, you save about $4 million. If you restructure Zach Martin, it's a $12.5 million saving. If you restructure Trayvon Diggs, it's a $7.5 million saving. If you cut or trade Micah Parsons, that's a $9.5 million saving against the cap. So in theory, the Dallas Cowboys can get up. They can go from being negative $8 million in the hole to getting about $63.1 million. There you go. $63.1 million is what the Dallas Cowboys can get to. So if you do all this, if you extend Dak, Lamb, and Micah, you restructure Zach, Diggs, and D-Law, and you either trade or cut Michael Gallup, the Dallas Cowboys will be $63 million in the green. So it's more than last year. How do we restructure the contract? Let me show you. Because this is his last year physically tied to the team. But the Dallas Cowboys have 3 voided years on the back of his contract that can hold cap hits. Right? So right here, this is 2024. But he also has voided years for 2025, 2026, and 2027. You currently owe him $13.4 million for the 2025 season, even though he's not currently under contract. So if you were to restructure him, booyah, you would save $12 million this year, 12.5, and you'll just owe an additional $800,000 this year. You'll owe an additional $650,000 this year. So because he has dummy years on the back of his contract, you can still restructure and manipulate it. Dunny Holmes, what's up with you, man? Thank you for tapping in and showing love to the liquor store. I appreciate you for rocking out with us, man. Oh shit. You couldn't see this because I had the damn graphic up. I'm sorry. Yeah, so this is Zach Martin's contract right here. So let me go through that again because y'all couldn't see it. So he has 3 dummy years. So 2024 is the last fiscal year that he's going to be tied to the team, and he has 3 dummy years attached to the back end of his contract. So 2025, 2026, and 2027. So in 2025, we already owe him $13.4 million. But if we restructure him, we'll save $12.5 million in the 2024 season, and we'll owe him additional money in 2025 and 2026. You know, that's sort of the reason why Dak Prescott can also be restructured if we wanted to do so. You actually can restructure Dak Prescott. It's just not the smart thing to do because you already owe Dak Prescott $36 million in 2025. It said it's more than last year. Leave him alone. He gone 2025. Maybe. If he wants to retire, he's gone. But I don't believe that would be the case. Hell, they might even give him another extension. And you'll still have similar cap savings if you were to give him an extension. You actually save a little bit more with a Zach Martin extension if you wanted to do so. All right, what's up with my boy Mark? He said Dak's not worth $60 million. Tanks do $20+ million. CD and 11 will want top money and good free agents we need because many of our guys are just okay or older. Guys will cost a lot soon. I'm gonna say it like this: the APY does not scare me or throw me off because you got to think about it. Dak Prescott is currently a $40 million a year quarterback that has never made $40 million against your salary cap, right? In 2021, he cost you $17 million. In 2022, he cost you $19 million. In 2023, he cost you $25 million. So Dak Prescott cap hits have not held the Dallas Cowboys back. And the same thing goes with the other guys. When CeeDee Lamb signs, CeeDee Lamb is probably going to be $30 million a year. But his cap hits really won't affect the Dallas Cowboys like that because they'll do exactly what they did with Zach Martin. They'll add voided years to the back of the contract. They'll give him restructures, and they will extend him before the cap hit gets too crazy. So remember, the cap goes up every year. If you keep kicking the can down the road, eventually they will age out of having top money anyway. So the smart teams, they're just going to keep extending. They're just going to keep extending the players. They'll keep kicking the cap hits down the road. They'll keep restructuring. They'll extend them again towards the end of the contract if they're still playing well. And they'll never really have to face any consequences for it. Like in theory, if your quarterback's good, right, you got a good quarterback, you can extend him all the way until he decides to retire. And then you won't even pay the full price then. You can extend CeeDee Lamb all the way up to the point until he wants to retire. And by then he's an older player that those last couple of extensions won't hit the same. You know what I mean? So really you need to play the long game, especially since you know the salary cap is going to keep going up and up and up and up and up and up. So in theory, you can always just keep pushing it down the line. The only thing I will say is the market is what the market is, man. You know, we cannot say who is worth 60 million, who's worth 40, who's worth 50. In America, you can get paid whatever you can get somebody to pay you. If Dak Prescott can get somebody to pay him $70 million, then he's worth $70 million a year. You know what I mean? You're worth whatever people are willing to pay you. And that's the truth. You're worth whatever people are willing to pay you in America. If you can find a way to get $100 million contract or whatever, you're worth it. So yeah, the salary cap is going to go up every year. You can always kick the can down the road. And we already seen with the Rams, like you don't stay in salary cap hell long because the salary cap keeps going up. Because it keeps going up and because you keep moving money around, you'll never really be in the hole too long. He said, if I personally had to pay Dak $60 million, I wouldn't do it. But spending billionaires' money, I'm all for it. Facts. Like, dog, not only do I want them to pay Dak Prescott, I want them to pay CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, go ahead and get the Neil Hunter, get load the clip, man. I love spending other people's money. Man. Hey, good evening, Miss Regina Green. Thank you for tapping in and showing love. It said, as you tell the Dak opponents, look how much the Cunners got paid when they hit free agency. Now imagine a franchise cornerback. Yeah, it's very true. You got to think about it, man. Like somebody is going to pay Kirk Cousins almost $50 million this offseason. Kirk Cousins is going to get a bag this offseason because good quarterback play is hard to come by. Right? Ask the Washington Commanders how well they've been at the quarterback position since they lost Kirk Cousins. Like, it's not easy to get a quarterback, nor is it easy to develop one. So if you got one, you hold on to him. You know what I mean? That's why Kirk Cousins is going to get a bag. That's why guys stay with jobs that we don't necessarily think are the best players. So if those guys get paid, imagine what Dak Prescott would get paid by another team that's desperate. Imagine if Dak Prescott was on the open market and he's an all-pro, an MVP candidate, got a winning record, all these different things. A lot of folks will look at Dak Prescott and think the Dallas Cowboys are the problem, not Dak Prescott. A lot of people will take a chance on Dak Prescott and believe getting him in their program and in their building will be beneficial to them. A lot of people look at the Cowboys organization as failures, but you notice they always love our players. You notice that they always go out there and trade for our players and sign our players and win with our players when they leave. So they probably don't think too highly of the organization. They love the player. They probably just don't think too highly of the organization. The lunatic with the $2 super. He said, only thing I want from Filthy is general manager Howie. Hey, and Howie didn't have a great, like Howie got warts too. But Howie's good. I can't ever hate on Howie. And one thing I will say about Howie, he has free range to go out there and make these aggressive moves to make his team better. He said classy move would be Dak taking 52. He has every right to play hardball, but man, he should play the long game. And this the thing. Y'all do realize that the reports of $60 million were exaggerated, right? Like that. Matter of fact, I'm glad that's a very good segue. But remember, it was reported he could get $60 million. He has not asked for $60 million. We don't even know what Dak Prescott wants. So let me throw this out there for everybody. Because, hey, they haven't talked to Dak Prescott's representation yet. So appearing on Saturday Sports Center, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reported the Cowboys and representatives for Prescott haven't had any substantial talks about a long-term contract. I was told that Dallas and Dak Prescott's reps have not had any substantial talks. They have not discussed numbers. They could certainly meet at the NFL Combine next week, though, to at least get started to see where each side is at. So why are we talking about $60 million? Why are we discussing $60 million? Because the highest paid quarterback right now only makes $52 a year. So I'm glad you threw the number 52 out, right? I'm glad you used the number 52. Because what if Dak Prescott only wants 53? What if Dak Prescott only wants 52.5 and more guaranteed money than the last dude? Matter of fact, let me pull up the quarterback market. I think that's a very good thing to do right now. I'm glad that you threw me this alley oop, bro. For real talk, I'm glad you threw this alley up for me. I'm gonna dunk it. It's actually 55, so maybe I'm mistaken, but 56 is probably what he'll get. 56, 55.5, or he could get something where he resets the market in guaranteed money. But you don't always have to just reset the market in everything. But let me get this pulled up for y'all real quick though. So we're talking about 60 million. Hold on, this is not the right one. Hold on. Here it go. Yeah, it's slightly higher. It's actually 55 million. Because I forgot about Joe Burrow's contract. Because Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson were the ones that got 50 in the 52 range. Then Joe went and got 55. So what if Dak Prescott? They talk about 60 million. What if Dak Prescott only wants 55.5, and he want more fully guaranteed money than Joe Burrow? What if Dak Prescott was willing to take 53? But he just wanted to make sure he got 150 guaranteed, right? We don't really know what Dak Prescott is asking for or what he wants because they haven't discussed the numbers yet with him or his representation. So what if Dak Prescott doesn't care about the APY? What if he only cares about the fully guaranteed money? Now nobody is getting the Deshaun Watson money right now. But what if he just wants a little bit more fully guaranteed money than Joe Burrow? What if he just wants 147 million fully guaranteed? What if he wants 150 fully guaranteed, and he's fine being at 53 or 54 APY? What if he wants 55.5 APY or 56 or 57, and he's not too much caring about the fully guaranteed money? There's a bunch of different factors going into it, but like he hasn't asked for $60 million. They don't know if he actually wants $60 million. They don't know if he wants to take a team-friendly deal. I wouldn't. We don't really know Dak Prescott's demands. Yeah, Todd Francis. And Todd Francis a beast. Todd Francis is a beast. So yeah, man, Dallas Cowboys, they haven't talked to Dak. We don't know what Dak wants. So I think it's a little too quick to say 60 million anyway. Like Dak don't even probably want 60 million. He probably want 55 and better guaranteed money. He might want 57 and better guaranteed money. He might want 58. We don't know. We don't really know. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, but the 60 million thing is not true any damn way. It's not true. Oh yeah, France don't like Steven, and Steven don't like France. And good on him, cause shit. Stephen Jones, a little slimy penny pincher motherfucker. I wouldn't like him either if I was an agent. Like I'm trying to get my client paid, and you out here playing. Ain't nobody finna beg you to play for them in the NFL. And I'm already a proven commodity. Like you got the game messed up, and that's really partially the reason why we don't get top free agents either, because of the tactics of Stephen Jones. Like who wants to go out there and do business with Stephen Jones, penny pinching ass? Who wants to do business with Stephen Jones, man? The lunatic, I agree with you. Whenever this extension is signed, we need to look at the salary cap hit in early years. That would be our Super Bowl window. I mean, that's partially true, but also it's also dependent if you want Dak Prescott for the long term. Danny said he see Dak Prescott playing on that $59 million. That would be very detrimental to the Dallas Cowboys. I ain't gonna lie to you. If Stephen Jones in the front office messed this up, messes this up, man, yeah, we ain't winning no championship. We ain't winning no championship with Dak if Dak playing on a $59 million cap hit. That means they're gonna be cheap everywhere else. When you can just go out there and get all the players you want by giving this man an extension. Yeah, I wouldn't play for the star either, man. Love the Dallas Cowboys. I knowing what I know about how the front office do business, I would never be a free agent and come to Dallas. Facts. Cause man, NFL too deep. You got dudes that known each other since high school, cousins, brothers, all that other stuff. Shout out to my boy Mark for another $5 super. He said, I dated Connor Williams' wife years ago when she was in Hawaii. She told me recently he could not stand the Joneses and they treat players like crap. Man, shout out to Connor Williams too, man. I like Connor Williams. I want Connor Williams to come back and play center for the Dallas Cowboys if he's remotely healthy. But yeah, man, everybody know they tactics. And this is like anybody. It's a job. Like everybody talks about their bosses. If you got a good boss, you're gonna talk. Like you gonna tell your homeboys like, yeah, man, I love such and such, man. You know, with the woo, they care, all this other stuff. And you hate your boss, man, you damn sure gonna let somebody know about it. So yeah, man, like ain't nobody trying to deal with the Joneses like that. That's why the Dallas Cowboys continually have problems getting free agents. Like, who wants to come play for you in this toxic ass environment? And you're being cheap. You're cheap and toxic. You got to pick a struggle. He is coming off an injury, and that's the one. Matter of fact, the lunatic, as crazy as that sounds, Connor Williams being injured might make him a target for the Dallas Cowboys. They love going after injured players so they can lowball them. So, hey, the lunatic, you might actually be helping me build my case, because that's some Jerry Jones shit. That's some Jerry and Stephen Jones shit to go and sign an injured player that you ain't got to give a big ass bag to. That sounds like something they do, doesn't it? Just like I'm sure they'll take a flyer on it. Oh, y'all be throwing me the alley oops. Y'all be throwing me the alley oops, and I love it, man. So, hey, I'm glad you brought up injury, man. Because there is talk of the Dallas Cowboys drafting another injured player. And I like him. Don't get it wrong. I like this player. But I want the Dallas Cowboys personally and honestly to stay away from anybody that has red flags, according to their injury history. They got all these red flags of being injured, and I don't want that. But according to this rumor, and it is a rumor from NFL Draft Files, I mean, it is the off season, it's the lean time. We'll talk about it. F it. Texas running back Jonathan Brooks and the Cowboys are strongly linked per Brett Coleman. Dallas team doctor did Brooks surgery following his torn ACL, and the Cowboys have better information than anyone else regarding his status on the injury. Dallas is in desperate need of help at running back, and Brooks is the type of every down guy teams looks for. Before the injury, Brooks was being mocked to Dallas in the late first round. If medicals hold up, expect to see him gone by round 3. So listen. Yep, you're right. They had it in the report. So yeah, man. Jonathan Brooks has talent. I'm not gonna sit here and say he's a scrub. He is not a scrub. He is a good player. But there are 2 red flags I want to point out about Jonathan Brooks. He has not really had a lot of carries in college because he played behind Bijan Robinson. He played behind Roschon Johnson, how you say the boy name. So this was his sole year of being the guy in Texas. And he did not even have a full season because he tore his ACL. So yeah, Jonathan Brooks, I think he has a lot of talent. I think he is a very good physical runner of the football. Can run between tackles. I like his balance and everything pre-injury. but he does not have a large body of work to reference, and he is also coming off of an injury. If I am going to use a draft pick on a running back, I can go with a Trey Benson who hasn't been injured since high school. I can go with a Jalen Wright. I can go with a Bucky Irvin. Like, there are other safer bets at the running back position that you can get. There's guys with bigger sample sizes and aren't currently injured. You know what I'm saying? This is not a knock against Jonathan Brooks. I think he's a damn good player. If he was healthy, I would love to have him. But we just seen Tony Pollard, how he looked coming off of an injury, right? We just seen Michael Gallup never come back from his injury and play the same, right? We seen what injuries did we seen what injuries have done to Leighton Vander Esch over the years, man. So no, I like him, but no. I need the Dallas Cowboys to stay far away from players with injury histories, because they try this shit all the time. And listen, there are success stories. Malik Hooker is a success story for the Dallas Cowboys. He's been healthy the entire time he's here. Got to earn a second contract. Love it for him. Been a baller for us. Randall Cobb in his long season here was a success story for the Dallas Cowboys. We kept him healthy. You can even go as far as say Jalen Smith was a success story, right? We never thought, there was a question if he would ever play, and he turned into a Pro Bowl linebacker and a starter for us. I know that people soured on him towards the end, but you got bang for your buck. You got a first round talent with a second round pick. He got a second contract, so you got what you pretty much asked from Jalen Smith. And then Schoonmaker. Yeah, Schoonmaker was dealing with injury too, and he was also dealing with not being a good football player, and dealing with being somebody that didn't really catch the ball in college, and all those other things he was dealing with outside of the injury too. But Schoonmaker too. He said if we trade down and get an extra third round draft pick, he would be my dart throw with that extra. I mean, yeah, if you get an extra pick, right? Let's say that you don't get a running back, right, with the other third round pick. So let's say that you do everything I want you to do. Let's say you get a wide receiver, interior offensive lineman, and let's say you get a young linebacker with the first third round pick. If you were to trade down and get a second, third, or some shit like that, I wouldn't mind if there wasn't any other running back there. If Trey Benson and all these other running backs are gone, I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on. If we were to get an extra pick. I mean, that's fine. With the way it's currently constructed, though, and knowing that there are some damn good players out there in this draft that don't have the injury concerns, Speaking of these running backs, though, I brought a graph. I'm the numbers guy. I bought a graph, and this is a running back prospect model for the 2020 draft class. I know it's sort of hard to see, but I'm going to go ahead and just read some of the numbers to y'all so y'all can get a better image of it. So at the top is Braylon Allen, Wisconsin. PPG 10.73. He's in the upper percentile of 85.8%. And just so you know what this is actually looking at, this is looking at career stats per game in correlation to their offense's points per game. So he accounted for 10.73 points per game over the course of his career. Yards per team played 1.61, which is fairly decent. Team yards market share, he accounted for 28.9% of his team yardage. You look at Jonathan Brooks, accounted for 10 points per game. 80.5 percentile. And you got to remember, this is based off really his sole year as a starter. So he did good this year. Like, I want nobody to take anything away from Jonathan Brooks. He had a very productive year before he got hurt. All right, yards per team play, 1.3. Team yards market share, 20.2. Blake Corum accounted for 9.8 points per game for his team. He's in the 77.6 percentile. Yards per team play, 1.39, and he accounted for 21.9 of his team's yards market share. Audric Easton, who I like. That's another name I left off. I take Audric Easton before I take an injured Jonathan Brooks, but that's also just me. 9.4 points per game accounted for in the 74 percentile. 1.4 yards per team play, and he accounted for 22.8 of his team yards per market share. Bucket Irvin accounted for 9 points per game. 70.3 percentile. 1.39 yards per play, which puts him tied with Blake Corum, and it also puts him over Jonathan Brooks in that regard. So yeah, man, it's like there's some good ass running backs, especially these are like the top 15 graded how they graded out in this model. There's some interesting names: Ray Davis from Kentucky, Jalen Wright, Will Shipley, Bucky Irvin, Trey Benson, Audric Easton, Blake Corum, Braylon Allen, Frank Gore Jr., who was one of my pet cats in the later rounds, and we can't get nobody earlier. Like, there's some damn good running backs in this year's draft, man. They don't have the grades. They don't have like the first round grades or nothing, but they're solid running backs, bro. And I would love that, man. Trey Benson is a monster. I would love for Trey Benson to be a Dallas Cowboy. Physical runner, and he has 4.3 speed. It's the best of both worlds. You get a physical runner. He said Jalen Hurts. Yeah, this damn good running back right there. Yeah, but yeah, Trey Benson, man, he's a damn good running back. He can run between the tackles. He has some breakaway speed. I like him. I like him. I still want to pair and listen, all these running backs, I still want to pair them with a free agent. It could be a Saquon. It can be, it can be King Henry. It can be Josh Jacobs if they get expensive. It can be the Swift boy from Philly. It can be anybody. But I need them to pair one of these young up-and-coming running backs with a veteran running back as well, because you need to reconstruct the entirety of your running back room. Because remember, you're going to lose 90% of your running back production. You're going to lose 90% of your running back production this year. Yeah, 94% of your running back production will be gone this year. If the Dallas Cowboys do not re-sign Tony Pollard and do not re-sign Rico Dowdle, you'll lose 94% of your running back rushing attempts this year from this previous season. Yeah, Austin Eckler. Like, listen, a beggar cannot be a chooser. A beggar cannot be a chooser. Because at this point, I am thirsty for running back play. I am thirsty for running back play. Thirsty. Because remember, somebody got to play the position. I mean, yeah, Eckler may be a walking injury, but I will tell you this. I would still take Austin Eckler over Malik Davis and over Deuce Vaughn. We can all agree with that, right? We would take Austin Eckler over Malik Davis and Deuce Vaughn because those are the running backs on your roster right now. So if they do something stupid and they can't get a premier running back and they miss their target, I would still take Eckler over Malik Davis ass. I would still take Eckler over Malik Davis. And I would take him over Deuce Vaughn, little ass. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like, at some point when you're on the verge of death, you might just have to drink the dirty water. You might just have to drink the dirty water if you're stuck in the desert. Saquon, Gus, Eckler, AJ Swift, all injury prone. What's up, Greg? No, my friend, I do not actually know how severe his ACL injury was, but the one thing I will give him is our team doctors did do the surgery, so they know. They got like y'all said, they got the inside track on it, and they are an award-winning group of medical experts. Like, they have won awards. Our medical staff has. They're award-winning. So we use that to our advantage all the time when we take these gambles and these risks on these players. So, hey, if his doctor honestly believes he will be back and be a good football player for the Dallas Cowboys, since I'm not asking him to be the lead back anyway, I might take a flyer on him, depending on what's available. But if there are better, healthier options, that's where I'm going. I'm going with one of the other guys. Hey, I don't mind getting Swift because, hey, remember, y'all can sell me on anybody right now, bro. Y'all can sell me on anybody right now, and I might not even have a fight to put up. I ain't gonna have no fight to put up, bro. Because listen, if we go into the season and they're trying to sell you on Malik Davis and Deuce Vaughn, man, you might as well get ready for basketball season. You might as well be tuned into baseball season. I know it'll still be going on. If we go out there with Malik Davis and Deuce Vaughn as our two starting running backs in 2024, you might be able to sell me on Tony Pollard and a rookie. You might even be able to sell me on Tony Pollard and a rookie. My boy Keystone said most of my running backs in my sleeper files are workhorses. I like that. I don't know if the Dallas Cowboys like that anymore because they're goofy, but I love that. I love that. Yeah, you can sell me on anything. If they bring Pollard back and they pair him with a rookie running back, that's still better than the alternative. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting here campaigning for Tony Pollard by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, I'm not sitting here campaigning for Tony Pollard by any stretch of the imagination. But I just can't live in a world with Malik Davis and Deuce Vaughn on my starting running backs. Like, I might take some of y'all. I ain't gonna do them that bad. Said running backs is Dallas is royalty. The front office needs a running back they can sell. I mean, yeah, man. When you're a franchise that had Tony Dorsett and Emmitt Smith and Ezekiel Elliott, like we're very ticky about our running back room, man. We're very ticky about our running back room. So yeah, man. If the Dallas Cowboys want to sell a running back, they might have to get a veteran with a name, and they might have to draft a young guy. Because I don't think they can sell us on Malik Davis. I just don't see it. All right, let me see what else I got in here. Speaking of running backs, these are the most first downs from rushing during the 2023 regular season. Christian McCaffrey, who was the Offensive Player of the Year, is right up there. Hey, shout out to Mark for the $5 super. Let me see what my brother said. He said, "Aloha. We need for our top 3 picks to contribute now." I like that. I want quality over quantity. Team needs an offensive lineman, defensive end, defensive tackle, linebacker, wide receiver, running back. A lot of holes to fill. And I can agree with you on that. That's why it's not possible to fill all your needs in the draft. But the Dallas Cowboys don't even have that many draft picks this year. So you traded away 2 fifths and you traded away a 4th round pick. So you got rid of 2 5th round picks. You got rid of a 4th round pick. So you don't really have that many picks this year. So yeah, quality is more important than quantity this year. And you also need to pair this year's draft with a very good free agency. So that's why it's very important to get the extensions done with Dak, CD, and Micah, so you can have all the money in the world to sign good free agents to pair them with hopefully what hopefully will be a good draft class. Shout out to Mark again for the $2 super. He said 23 draft was a joke. Ours didn't do. Ours didn't do well with Gallup. Oh, doctors didn't do well with Gallup. I see. Man, I don't know. I'm curious on if our doctors did Michael Gallup surgery. I'm very curious on if that happened. If Michael Gallup underwent surgery from our team doctors or not. But I really don't know what happened to Michael Gallup, man. Now listen, I was never the guy that thought that Michael Gallup was a number one wide receiver, because there was some people in the fan base that actually said he was better than Amari Cooper. But never in my life did I think that I would get this kind of production from Michael Gallup. Oh no, you good, Mark. I'm the one that can't read. Bro. But never in my life did I think that I would get this kind of production from Michael Gallup. The man hasn't had 500 yards in 3 years. Man hasn't had five receiving touchdowns in 3 years. So yes, I'm sure he'll be a cap casualty. He said, "Oh no, I just peeped and saw CEH was a free agent. This sounds like a Stephen Jones special. Great college running back, first round pick, but hasn't lived up to the hype and injury pro." Oh, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Man, I liked him coming out of college, but man, he sure ain't. And you know it's real when you lose your job to a 7th round pick. You're a first round pick running back, and you done lost your job to a 7th round pick. Yeah, he said he was a jump ball contested ball guy. He never had separation skills. It caught up to him. Yeah, possession. Yeah, he made some good plays. But you're right. If you lose a step and you're not overtly, you don't have a crazy catch radius and things like that, it'll catch up to you. So I agree with that. Bro, T. Roy, like y'all listen, y'all should see some of these Facebook groups, man. If y'all saw some of these Facebook groups, y'all like, man, folks say anything. Listen, those groups, those Dallas Cowboys fan groups are one of the reasons I don't be on Facebook like that no more. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. They will say any and everything and then argue with you like you're the crazy one. Yeah, I'm sure you won't be expensive. And hey, I want an entirely new running back room. So you could bring him in, and you can still bring in a better running back besides him in free agency, and you can still draft another running back. We need all the running backs we can get at this point. So if he's want to come over here, play on a minimum deal, which is probably all he can get. If you want to come play for a minimum deal and fight for playing time, I'm down. I don't mind that so much. I just wouldn't bring him in and say voila, we're done. But I definitely wouldn't mind bringing him in for him to compete. But yeah, I definitely would still be shopping after I sign Clyde. So yeah, but back to this real quick. Christian McCaffrey, 83 first downs. Jalen Hurts, 68. King Henry, 63. Kyren Williams, 62. Raheem Mostert, 59. Joe Mixon, 59. David Montgomery, 59. Chuba Hubbard, 59. James Cover, 57. And Josh Allen, 57. So, hey, Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts definitely were using the shit out their legs this year, man. And really, I put more. It's more impressive what Josh Allen did, because he wasn't getting his ass fondled and pushed over the goal line like Jalen Hurts. So yeah, he wasn't getting molested to get a first down. So shout out to Josh Allen. I'll give him that. But yeah, man, out of these 68, Rushing first down, 60 of them are probably 60 of these are probably tush pushes. Yeah, 60 of these are probably tush pushes, man. So nah, like I'm not really overtly impressed by that. The tush push master, man. Said Kamara would be a salary cap dump, and his numbers have been declining. There was also talk about O-line coach Solari changing Steele's play style. Hopefully, second year O-line improves with Solari. I pray so. Because remember, winning in the trenches is the most important part of anything. If you're not solid up front, man, it doesn't really matter who your quarterback is. Doesn't really matter who your receivers are, who your running backs are. If you can't move people from the point of attack in the trenches, then it's a no-go. And really, we seen that last year with how some of this stuff played out. We seen that last year with how some of this stuff played out overall, man. So let's see what else we got on the agenda for today. Oh yeah, this is something I actually meant to talk about on the last show. So the Pittsburgh Steelers have released center Mason Cole, and they cleared up $4.7 million in cap space. So he'll be a free agent this offseason. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to go get me some more tea because I'm a little parched, a little dehydrated from running my mouth for an hour and some change. And then we'll take a look at Mason Cole. I haven't looked at his numbers yet, but we'll take a look at Mason Cole to see if he's worth bringing in to fill out that center position. So let me go pull me up another cup of tea, and then I'll come right back and we'll talk about Mason Cole, how he graded out, and if he's any good. So give me 2 seconds. Hey, I'm back, but hey, salute to my boy the Lunatic for the $2 supers. He said support new Cowboys media. Best talk before hitting club. Appreciate it, man. Thank y'all for the love and support, man. All right, so let's get into it, man. So I don't know much about the kid, man. I don't know much about Mason Cole at all. So anything that I pull up and find is going to be new information for me as well. But let's look at him and figure it out. So let me get him pulled up real quick. Mason Cole, PFF. I really want to find a better usage of this. This shit should look ugly. This stuff look ugly. All right, I'm gonna share the screen. So first glance, I'm gonna say hell no to bringing him in. He said Richard Sherman was arrested for a DUI. I saw that, man. Real talk, though. I hope he gets the help that he needs, because this is not the first time that he's been arrested while being intoxicated publicly. So I hope he gets the help that he needs. Seriously, I hope he gets the help that he needs before he hurts himself or hurts somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want anything bad to happen even to the haters. But yeah, man, I hope that Richard Sherman gets the help that he needs, and maybe when he gets sobered up, he'll have better football takes. But yeah, I pray that he gets the help that he needs for real, though. I had to get that one jab in, but I do hope he's okay. So he didn't play good. I see why he got cut. This is exactly why he got cut. So yeah, graded out as a 57.3 overall. Pass blocking grade was a 39.6. Run blocking grade was a 65.7. He had 1,069 plays, with the 13th most among centers. 4 penalties, which was 23rd. 2 sacks, which was 21st amongst centers. Said Richmond is in a state of mind that reminds me of CTE. Let me see what Cuz said. Hold on. There it go. No Jeezy. Yeah. He said we need Sherman sober for our number 6 victory parade. Facts. Yeah. So yeah, Mason Cole numbers don't look great at all, dog. I ain't gonna hold you. Yeah, for what Mason Cole's numbers look like, I would keep Tyler Biadasz over this shit. Yeah, I keep Tyler Biadasz, or I'll run out with Hoffman. Honestly, before I even bring him in, I just thought, I just seen a center became a free agent. I thought I'd look, but yeah, this don't look good. This don't look good at all. I'll take Tyler B over this. I'll take Tyler B over this, man. Hell, I'll take Hoffman over this. So yeah, no. So we always gotta get a A for effort. You know what I mean? You get an A for effort. We tried to give him a chance, and his shit looked bad out the gate. So we can't do that to ourselves. Just can't do that to ourselves. Let me see if I got anything else left on the agenda, because we talked about that. Said, does he have any Big Mike or Solari connections? That's a very good question. Let me see. All right, so Mike Solari. Let me see. And let me see Mason Cole's history. All right, so let's see. Mason Cole played with the Cardinals, Vikings, and Pittsburgh. Mike Solari. No, it does not look like they ever crossed paths. Thank God. He got drafted out of Michigan. Yeah, no. There seems to be no ties between Mike Solari and this player. He was drafted by. He was actually drafted by the Arizona Cardinals in 2018 and 2020. Yes, he was in Minnesota the very last year that Mike Zimmer was there. If I'm not mistaken, Mike Zimmer's last year in Minnesota was in 2021. So he did play under Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer was his head coach in 2021. Let me double check. Yeah. 2021. So yeah. So he crossed paths. He crossed paths with Mike Zimmer. They were only together for a singular year, so I'm not really sure what their relationship is like. And he's an offensive lineman. We all know that Mike Zimmer's baby is the defense on every team. So I don't know if that plays any role on if he ends up in Dallas. But you never know, man. You never know. But yes, there is a overlap between him and Mike Zimmer for a singular season. Say, quick question about cornerback. If we don't resign Gilly, we okay with J. Lou resigning? I mean you have no choice, because you can't have that many holes. Either you're gonna resign Stephon Gilmore and let the run Bland take over the slot again, or you're going to re-sign J. Lou and let the run Bland play the outside. So either way, you gotta choose one. You gotta choose one or choose both, or do something. But Yeah, you need another outside corner. As good as the run blend was last year, I still feel like he's better in the slot. I still feel like he's better in the slot, and we can have that great ass tandem of corners we didn't get to see. Like our starting corners only played 2 games together. Our starting corners only played 2 games together all of last year. Because Trayvon Diggs got hurt before the Arizona Cardinals game. JB2 said both. Hey, that is a viable option if you wanted to go there. If you want to sign them both back, that's fine. If you want to, sign Gilly back, let the run blend play the slot, and draft a slot corner in the later rounds that can be a 4th string guy, or you want to give Israel McQuamu more reps as a nickel player because he did play super good for us in that Buccaneers game. So if you want to do one of those options, that's also viable. But you need to keep some depth in your cornerback room because this is a very pass happy league. He said, can't wait for Zimmer and his run-stopping mentality / philosophy. I'm ready, man. Matter of fact, you saw today them boys are locked in. They're not even, him and Mike McCarthy not even going to travel to the combine. He's trying to get everything in order for this upcoming season, and I love it, really. Like, wholeheartedly, I love that shit. But yeah, man, we gonna move on to Q&A because I done been through all the slides that I had for the show. So if y'all want to stay on here a little bit longer, y'all got questions y'all want me to answer, I can do that at this point. So if y'all got questions for Henny, put them in the chat box. I'll put them up on the screen. I'll read them, and I'll do my best to answer them. And if I don't have the answer, I will go find the answer for us. So, hey, let's just do that. You got questions you want answered, put them in the chat box. I'll put them on the screen. We'll answer them, and we'll do that until we wrap the show up. My boy said I say both. He said also any word on injured tight end Stephen Jones. He 100%. Hendershot may be on the chopping block. Well, I did hear that as well. Like, I'm not talking about anything recent. I'm talking about, prior to the season started. Like, a lot of people were saying that John Stevens was going to take Peyton Hendershot's job. Like, Peyton Hendershot's job was on the line. It was on the line. And really, honestly, had John Stevens Jr. not been injured, Hendershot would have been a cut. I fully believe that, and that's fully what some reports were saying. So yeah, I truly believe that. Shout out to Mark for the $2 super. Said, who was the idiot who wanted Mozzie to lose 30 pounds? That's crazy because now people are trying to act like nobody told Mozzie Smith to lose that weight. At first, it was reported that that was something that the defense that Dan Quinn wanted. Now people are saying nobody told Mozzie Smith to lose 30 pounds, but he never got fined not a single time, did he? So I don't know. They playing that shit close to the vest. I say go with your first mind. You first told us when we heard about it. When we first heard about it, they said that was a Dan Quinn decision. So we gonna stick with that. I'm gonna say Dan Quinn because he's supposed to be the defensive line guru. So if something crazy went on with the defensive line, I'm looking at Dan Quinn. My boy said, make Mozzie fat again. Hey, fat boys are back. Hey, exactly. He said, Henny, why the hell Eagles fans love seeing multiple men grab on their quarterback's ass cheeks? It is the city of brotherly love, right? They want to love on their brother in a literal sense. So, yeah, they like that shit. They weird like that. He said that was a front office decision. I can't say that for a fact because when it was being reported on, it was said to be Dan Quinn. I can only go off what the hell they were talking about. I can't say it was Steve. I can't picture Stephen Jones walking up to Mozzie Smith and say, "Stop eating, bitch." I can't see that. I don't know. I can't see that. But I can see Mozzie Smith trusting who was supposed to be his mentor, Dan Quinn, in trying to help him be better. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's weird either way. It's weird. Whoever did it, if it was Stephen Jones, we already know he's a dumbass. But I'm just saying, it seemed more logical that Monty Smith would take advice from Dan Quinn before we take advice from Stephen Jones, who never did anything but be Jerry Jones' son. That's the highlight of Stephen Jones' success in life. Is being Jerry Jones' son. I don't know what the hell he does for a living. Yeah, man, I can't see it. I can't see Stephen Jones stepping down on Mozzie Smith like that. Now, he might have put the bug in Dan Quinn's ear and told him to go make that happen. So you're right. Maybe Stephen Jones sent the hit and Dan Quinn carried it out, but I don't know. I don't know, bro. He said, can you look up the expected contract for defensive tackle Leonard Williams? Sure. We'll look at Leonard Williams. So let me see. My boy at 300 pounds now. And he got position flex. He plays both defensive end and he can play defensive tackle. Well, let me see his expected contract. $16.7 million, according to Spotrac, is his expected market value. So yeah, his expected market value is $16.7 million. So it's feasible. Now, he's not really a run stopper. Y'all know, like, his specialty is pressuring the quarterback. So yeah, he's a good player, but I don't necessarily know if he fixes the issues that we have. But I still like him. But I don't necessarily know if he actually fixes the problem the Dallas Cowboys have. Said Bieniemy going to UCLA as their OC is a downgrade for him, but I'm happy as a UCLA fan. And I'm sad as a Dallas Cowboys fan, man. As a Dallas Cowboys fan, I am highly upset and sad that we did not get a chance to get Eric Bieniemy in a Dallas Cow on the coaching staff, man. You know, he's a disciplinarian, has great offensive scheme, coaches hard. But he's loved and respected by his players, though, man. He's loved and respected by his players. So I wish we had that on the team currently. But you know, man, it is what it is, though. It is what it is. I wish him nothing but this. I wish him nothing but luck. Wish him nothing but luck. But it's crazy. You're filling out a coaching staff, and a 2-time Super Bowl winning coordinator is right there. Right, a 2-time Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator is right there, and you can hire him as an offensive assistant to help modernize your offense, and you don't do it. And you just don't do it. Now, don't get me wrong, none of the 32 teams in the NFL did it, but the Dallas Cowboys probably needed him more than most of the other teams did, in my humble opinion. In my humble opinion, you know what I mean? I know, T-Roy. They don't like people that hold their nuts. They don't like people like that. Said, how much for defensive tackle Grover Stewart? Because 16 mil seems too rich for Clown Show Steve. Now, see, Grover Stewart is more of a run-stopping defensive tackle that we're looking for. Like, I honestly would prefer Grover Stewart. I would prefer Grover Stewart over Leonard Williams. He ain't gonna get the sack numbers, but he has great run stopping ability. He fits the mold for what we actually want. Now for him, he does. I don't see I don't see that he has his market value listed. I don't see that he has his market value listed. So let me go and look, see if I can find it. Grover Stewart. Nope, still nothing on that end. Let's try this one more time. All right, I couldn't find it on that site, but I did find an article discussing his potential contract with the Colts if they were to re-sign him. So they're stating that he's a priority for the Colts. All right, hold on. Let me take this down. And now let me minimize this. All right. So predicting Grover Stewart's potential Colts contract extension. They're trying to get him paid. Right. So February 6th is where this article from. So it's from, a couple from like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks and some change. All right. So let's see what they're talking about. So of all the in-house free agents for the Indianapolis Colts, it is hard to find a player of more importance on the defensive side of the ball than Grover Stewart. Stewart was drafted by the Colts in the 2017 NFL Draft out of Albany State. The 6'4", 314-pound defensive tackle spent the first couple of seasons of his career as a depth piece of the Colts defensive line. But it became harder and harder to keep Stewart off the field, and he took over as a full-time starter in 2019. For his career, Stewart has totaled 280 tackles, 30 tackles for loss, 9 sacks, 35 quarterback hits, and 7 passes defensed. Stewart has always strived as a run defender, racking up 151 defensive stops in his career, according to Pro Football Focus. Big Grove has certainly lived up to his name, and the Colts' run defense is noticeably better when number 90 is on the field. Like with his wide receiver, Michael Pittman Jr., the Colts have expressed a strong desire to retain Stewart on a long-term deal. Stewart has inked an extension with the Colts before signing a 3-year, $30.75 million deal in 2020. He could be looking at another deal similar to those numbers, possibly more. Let's look at how Colts have handled defensive tackle signing in recent years and what players similar to Stewart's level have signed for to help predict the details of a potential extension. All right, and these are some of the numbers. These are some of the similar numbers that the Colts gave out. Well, really, no. This is yeah, that's correct. He said seems like defensive tackle. Okay. I'll just check it back. All right. So they gave Taven Bryan 1 year, 3.5. Grover Stewart got 3 years for 30. Taylor Stallworth got 2 for $1 million and some change. Sheldon Day 1 year with 1.75. DeForest Buckner got a bag 4 years, $84 million. The Nico Autry got a 3 year, $17 million deal. Jonathan Hankins, who's currently most recently just played with us. Al Woods, 2 years, $4 million. While most of these deals have been for less than $5 million on average annual value, Ballard was paid good money for starting defensive tackles. Buckner and Stewart ranked first and fifth, respectively. Blase. The big money deals for defensive tackles have largely paid off for Ballard and the Colts. Hankins may have been in Indy for one season, but Autry, Buckner, and Stewart have had sizable impacts on the defensive line. Although Stewart has not reached those highs yet, Ballard knows how crucial he is to the Colts' defensive success. So let's take a look around the league. So these are some other similar players. Tomlinson and his production, Reader and his production. So 4 years, 57. So this is around where they think that he is. Let's see. So they think that he'll make close to about $15 million per year. They say that his market value should be 3 years, $43.5 million. According to them, that's what they believe that he should be worth. So about $15 million a year, 14.5, according to the folks that made this article. So yeah, that's Grover Stewart and what they believe he's worth. About 14.5, 15 million. He might take 13 depending on who's asking and where he's playing at. Because state taxes and guaranteed money and all that other shit plays a factor. All right, y'all. Any other questions? Who else got questions in the liquor store? And if not, we can wrap it up. But if y'all got more questions, I'm gonna give y'all time to put them in the chat box. If not, we can close down the doors until tomorrow. And I'll give y'all time to put questions in the chat box if y'all still got any. He said, how much other teams paying players bring the Dak discussion into focus real fast? I got you, kinfolk. So let's just take a look at the quarterback market real quick, because I think I might have that pulled up on yeah, I got it. I got this right here. So Joe Burrow is making 55 M's right now. Justin Herbert is making 52.5. Lamar 52. Jalen 51. Russell Wilson currently is making 49. Kyler Murray is making 46. Deshaun Watson 46. Patrick Mahomes 45. Josh Allen 43. Matthew Stafford makes 40. Daniel Jones makes 40. Dak Prescott makes 40. So Dak Prescott's like technically the 13th highest paid quarterback in the league right now, at least in terms of APY. So everybody is getting good money, even the quarterbacks that aren't successful right now. Russell Wilson last won a championship when Dak Prescott was in college. Kyler Murray has never won a playoff game and has a losing record as a starter. Deshaun Watson has only played 12 games in the last 3 years. Josh Allen just had 20-plus turnovers. Jalen Hurts was awful this year. Justin Herbert has never won a playoff game, has a losing record as a starter. Daniel Jones, awful, and he's injured. So, all these other players are making more money than Dak Prescott. So, of course, it's time for him to get a pay raise. But when you look around, all these other people, they still got players on their roster. They still fill out their teams. They still are competent. Their front office is still competent. They still make things happen for them. Yeah, you could have extended Dak Prescott before these other guys got paid if you actually had did the right thing and just gave him his contract extension the first time around instead of giving him the 2 franchise tags. Yeah, you remember, you never make up that time. You're always going to be 2 years late with Dak Prescott because you started 2 years late with Dak Prescott. So Dak Prescott could have entered the market again 2 years earlier had you not done this and been making less money. And you would have still had him signed up. So yeah, man. Said, damn, and we could, yeah. My boy said, what do you think the Jones is going to do in free agency? What they need to do in order to win a Super Bowl is to address the linebacker position, the defensive tackle position, and the running back position in free agency, and then use the draft to draft BPA according to level of need and player available. That's what they should do. What they'll probably do is draft a bunch of what they'll probably do is sign a bunch of over-the-hill players that have names. Production is probably down, so their bag is probably down. They'll try to sell you on those moves, and they'll have a so-so draft. That is what will probably happen. What they need to do is go out there and aggressively try to ascertain talent to fix the issues that we have that kept us from advancing this year. You know that run defense is an issue, right? So you need linebackers and defensive tackles to go out there and stop the run. You know that your offense was one-dimensional. When Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb were not going out there and being productive when they weren't on the same page, you were not scoring points. So you need a run game to help mitigate some of that. Maybe another wide receiver as well, right? Because hell. But yeah, so we know the issues that we have. But yeah, man. What up with you, Eric Wallace? Kelvin Hicks says Cowboys going to draft hurt and future guys. That sound like Dallas Cowboys, bro. They do that all the time. All the time. My boy said we should get a 5th and a 6th comp for Schultz and McGovern. How many draft picks we get this draft if those 2 comp picks come in? Let's see. So they currently have 5 to their name. They have the 24th overall pick, 58 overall pick, 87 overall pick. They got 2 7-round picks. So if they end up with the 2 comps, they'll have 7. But right now we have 5. My boy Ivory, he said we need linebackers. I don't want Wagner or David. They too old. Well, it's not about age really, because I don't need these guys long term. If Bobby Wagner can play at an all-pro level one more year, then sign me up for Bobby Wagner. If Levante David can play at a high level for one more year, sign me up. Because what you also cannot do is ask a rookie middle linebacker to lead your team. Because a lot of what middle linebacker play is all in the mind. It's all cerebral. Right? That's why teams usually don't win without veteran linebacker play. Because in order to be a good middle linebacker, you got to understand how the offense is attacking you. And you have to have played some snaps for that. You got to understand if they're lining up in this formation, they're probably either going to run to this side or they're going to run this concept behind you. And you gotta make sure to get your defensive line lined up correctly, so they have the correct gap integrity and all this other different stuff that comes with the responsibility of playing middle linebacker. So that's why a lot of people go for veteran middle linebackers, because a lot of these middle linebackers coming in are super athletes, but a lot of them don't have it up here yet. It takes time. So if you want to put yourself in the best position to compete for a championship in 2024, you need a veteran linebacker. Like you'll need a veteran linebacker for that. Said, do I think Damone Clark's a bust? You know, it's hard to be a bust when you're only a 5th round pick. I mean, if anything, Damone Clark is a 5th round pick. You know, I would say you can't be a bust unless you're a top 32 pick. But Damone Clark, he hasn't lived up to the hype that we created around him. But I can't say that he's a bust just because he was drafted so late. He was a 5th round pick with a back injury. So the fact that he's even playing football is sort of a win. He has definitely not lived up to what we wanted from him, but I can't say bust just because there should have never been that high of expectations for somebody of his ilk anyway. But we definitely aren't getting what we want from Damone Clark right now. Hopefully with a real linebacker coach, real veteran linebackers on the team to help teach him the position, he can get better. But as of right now, you're definitely not getting what you want from Damone Clark. My boy Eric says, as a Seahawks fan, if you get Wagner, you still get a dog for a middle linebacker. And that's what I need right now. I know that there are issues with his coverage right now due to his age, but he was still a player that gave the Seahawks over 180 tackles. He still made an all-pro selection. He was still damn good in everything but coverage. So if he can only be a early down linebacker, so be it. Because right now I ain't got any down linebacker right now. Because I had a safety playing linebacker for me in Marquise Bell. I had Damone Clark playing a bunch of snaps for me. So yeah, like I don't really have a linebacker. There's no telling how healthy Leighton Vander Esch will be because he's never healthy. So we really don't have linebackers. He said, who is our number 3 receiver? Your number 3 receiver right now is Brandon Cooks, because I know you said Jake, but Jake Ferguson is your number 2 receiver right now. He had more targets and more catches, more yards, more first downs, you know, all that other stuff. Let me see. How many touchdowns did Jake have? I think he had 7 and Brandon Cooks had 8. So they're neck and neck with touchdowns too. Yeah, he had 7. No, he had 5. Okay. But yeah, like Jake Ferguson right now is the number 2 receiver in terms of targets, first downs, and different things like that. My boy said, HTN, would you rather have at running back Jacobs, Henry, or Joe Mixon or Barkley? Now, are we using both of them? Is it a running back room consisting of Jacobs and Henry, or are we just talking about styles? First and foremost, keep Joe Mixon all the way away. Keep Joe Mixon all the way away from Dallas. I'm not going to elaborate on why. Just keep Joe Mixon ass all the way away from Dallas. Let's see. Josh Jacobs is probably the best choice because he is an every down back. He's young. He does not have an injury history. He's also will be the most expensive one. But if you had to pick anyone, if Jerry Jones came to you and he said he would get any running back that you asked for, you should beg him for Josh Jacobs because he checks all the boxes. Explosive, can run between the tackles, can catch out the backfield, doesn't have an injury history like that. Like, yes, I would definitely get Josh Jacobs over all those other guys. Yeah, LVE came in with that injury, with that neck injury. No, that's one of the reasons why I'm concerned about getting Wilson. The linebacker from NC State. Great player. No medicals should scare the shit out. They should scare the shit out of you. And not really. Just think about our luck with injuries and drafting players with injury histories. It never works out for us in the long run. It just never works out for us, man. Yeah, which is very true. Say what you want, but hey, LVE took a step back as well. Yeah, we damn sure ain't had a true middle linebacker like that since Sean Lee. Yeah, a middle linebacker that could process the entirety of the field, damn near predict. Damn like that man had precognition out there the way he was moving. Like he used to be wide receivers to the spot, man. Like Sean Lee was different. Yeah, Sean Lee was different. So yeah, having a middle linebacker of that ilk, we ain't had one in a long time. Damn show fun to watch. Said, do you think it will finally click for Sam Williams this year, aka Randy Gregory 2.0? We can only hope. He's shown. Listen. Hopefully, Mike Zimmer fixes the penalties on the defensive side of the ball. Hopefully, Zimmer is the one that can fix that because they make a bunch of mistakes. Hopefully, he can instill some accountability. Hopefully, he can instill, some sound fundamental value of not committing penalties. So yeah, man. Hopefully Mike Zimmer fixes that issue because they make so many damn mistakes, and Sam Williams he's talented as hell, bro. But he always does something outsize, roughing the fucking punter, roughing the passer. Like what the hell has Sam Williams not done to fuck up? And I like Sam Williams, but they got to get that under control on the defensive side. But yeah, I'm gonna take that as the last question though. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to depart. We've been on here for 2. Hold on. He said I have a big question. I ain't gonna do you like that then. My boy Ivory said he got a big question, so I'll use this as the last question then. He said, HTM, I have a big question. Do you think we cut DeMarcus Lawrence after what he said? And do you think Micah and him get along after he said about D-Law? Yeah, I think that him and Micah Parsons get along just fine. If you have a brother, a cousin, or a friend, you're not going to always agree with everything that they say. So, in that moment, Micah Parsons did not agree with DeMarcus Lawrence. But what people don't talk about, Stephon Gilmore, during his interview, did not agree with DeMarcus Lawrence. Brandon Cooks, they both did an interview. He also did not agree with DeMarcus Lawrence's stance. I think people only got to talking about it because Micah Parsons was talking about it, and he's a more visible Dallas Cowboy than the other two are. So yeah, there are multiple people on the team that did not agree with what DeMarcus Lawrence said. It doesn't mean they don't respect him. It doesn't mean they don't like him. It doesn't mean none of that. And I also don't believe that we cut him is more conducive for us to actually restructure his contract. So it makes more sense to restructure DeMarcus Lawrence. Like everybody messes up. Micah Parsons said stuff on his podcast that might rub his locker room mates the wrong way from time to time, but it'll be okay because at the end of the day, you're not going to always agree with the other 52 people on the roster. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to always agree in unison with those other guys. Facts. They say they don't know what the hell that means. But yeah, I don't think that he gets cut. I think he gets restructured. I don't think there's any smoke in the locker room. Just teammates to have different opinions on what went wrong. And, he has a different job title than those guys. DeMarcus Lawrence is one of the highest graded run stoppers in the National Football League, and that takes a lot of effort to do so. So he is looking at things from a different perspective than Micah Parsons, from Stephon Gilmore, and from Brandon Cooks. So, but I will say this: DeMarcus Lawrence might have been tired, and that's fine. You know, if you really felt that way, maybe you should have kept it to yourself, but whatever. But pretty much all they said is, "Don't say it about us. We weren't tired." But they also had different job responsibilities as well. So I can see a reasonable reason why they disagree. But yeah, man, DeMarcus Lawrence will be here. He'll still be a leader in the locker room, and him and Micah will still be a great tandem on the field together. But yeah, man, thank y'all for y'all time. We had 2 hours and some change of some fire-ass Dallas Cowboys content. So thank y'all for everything. On the way out, please hit that like button. Please hit that share button. Please continue to slap the dog shit out of those Eagles fans and those Commanders fans. And please hit the Cash App with a super chat on the way out. Help keep the lights on all 2024 in the liquor store.